Yes, sir.
Mr. Miller, you're charged with operating while intoxicated, second offense. Let's look at your ticket. It's not in here. Darn it. There's a formal complaint filed by the prosecutor alleging that on or about February 23rd of 2025, that you were driving a vehicle on Fawn River Road while you were intoxicated. That's a misdemeanor. They've charged it as a second offense. I wasn't aware of this Wisconsin offense that's alleged in here. I asked for a driving record and I didn't have one. You had a case here in 2017, which was resolved. That's more than 7 years ago. It was actually then dismissed under the statute. But if you have a Wisconsin charge, you actually have 3 charges, which would be a felony. But it hasn't been charged as a felony. It was charged as a second offense. The way it's charged is punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. The prosecutor has agreed to reduce this to a charge of operating while intoxicated first offense. Is that correct, Mr. Robert?
That's correct.
That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Carry 6 points on your driving record and it requires that your license be suspended. Ms. Yancey, is that your understanding of the plea agreement as well?
It is, Your
Honor. Mr. Miller, did anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to this?
No.
Or threaten you?
No.
Do you understand that if you do plead to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? Do you understand?
Yes.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. You've retained Ms. Yancey, which is fine with us. You also could have asked to have had an attorney appointed. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to because you have a right not to testify. If you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you, and you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Here's that Wisconsin charge. For reasons I didn't understand, I didn't have a driving record in here, and then I asked for one, and it took a while to populate, so I didn't see it till just now. All right, let's talk about this. Were you driving a car on Fawn River Road?
My truck.
Your truck. You'd been at the Tomahawk?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we got a lot of drinking driving cases out of the Tomahawk. I've said it more than once. And you were in an accident?
Mm-hmm.
Is that yes?
Yes, sir.
And you were drinking cranberry and soda or cranberry and vodka or something?
I believe so.
And they gave you a breath test, or actually, I think they took your blood.
It was a blood test.
And the result was 0.159. Do you accept that?
I was a 146 on scene.
All right. Either way, so you'll accept that you were at least a 0.146.
Yeah.
Christine, have we discussed, because I didn't look at this carefully enough, I thought the prior was the 17 case. Has there been any discussion of sobriety court?
No, there hadn't been. I know he's already followed my instructions and got an assessment done. He's done the alcohol safety. He's been actively attending AA meetings. I counted, he's got 32. And he did a the victim impact, so.
Well, he's not gonna be, he's gonna lose his driver's.
And he does understand that, but no, we have not talked about sobriety court. That's
All right, some sobriety court referrals in here. If you
he's
are,
willing to at least have someone explain it to him
All
and
right.
see if it's a possibility or not.
I say shame on me. I should have had this on my radar. Here it is. All right, first let's pick a date for sentencing. Jordan's here on the 29th of September. Are you available on 9/29?
And
Mr. Miller, your driver's license is going to be revoked for 2 drinking drivings within a 12-month period, within a 7-year period. That means it may take at least 5 years for you to be eligible to get your license back. You'll actually have 3 in a lifetime, which would also revoke it. If you are in a certified sobriety court treatment program, you may be able to get your driver's license back with an interlock device after 45 days. It also would defer a large portion of the jail, but there are a lot of requirements that you have to comply with to complete the sobriety court program. It's ironic, your conviction from here was set aside under the new Michigan. I'm not in favor of setting aside drinking driving convictions, but I don't make the law. It was set aside in November of 24, and they probably didn't know that you had another case in 2022. I'll set this for September 29th at 11. I'm gonna put sobriety court? Question mark. It's not a foregone conclusion. First of all, you have to be willing to do it. If you are willing to do it, we certainly can get an assessment and determine. All right, I'm going to ask you to take these 2 forms out to the counter. We'll get some information. There may need to be some further assessment.
Your Honor, could I ask one thing of the court? And I didn't bring this up to Mr. Robert, but my client had traveled out of state for work, and you had signed an order that allowed him to do that to
Yes.
modify his bond, and Mr. Robert.
What's your work?
He's in welding, but he may have to go back there again. Do you want me just to file another sticker?
No,
Could we
you've
just
got
modify
my,
it
you've
to
got
be
my permission
just for
to,
work related?
yes.
Okay, thank you. All right.
All right. Thank you, Josh. I'll see you at 3.
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Once he gets his agent, I send everything to her or him. Yeah. Judge?
Yeah, that'll be autumn.
We don't, how quickly will that be assigned on?
I think, Mr. Stickley, we may be, for the first time in many years, fully staffed at the prosecutor's office. Kudos to Miss Davis if she's pulled it off. They hired a new assistant prosecutor, Angelique Camfield, who is very experienced in other counties. And Ms. Stoll just took the bar exam, and I think she's gonna start. I saw her yesterday. So that would get them to 5 people, prosecutor, chief assistant, 2 very experienced assistants, Mr. Gabriel and Ms. Camfield, and a new lawyer. So that would be great. One of the benefits would be they could have more people to help us with these misdemeanor arraignments. I'm looking for your file. So we start out with a big thud because you're not in here. Ooh, all right, well, let me find it. That's odd. I'm not crazy. You're not in the queue. I might be crazy, but you're not in the queue. So let me find it separately. I don't know what happened to Elizabeth Anton.
Online.
Am I saying it correctly?
Yes.
All right, you got a ticket for driving without a valid. Oh. A valid operator's license. That might be our most common ticket. No, I can't even find it that way. Let me look at the file number. Elizabeth Anton. No wonder I can't find it. What's your name?
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth Lane Antone?
Yes.
They've got the ticket written as Antone Elizabeth Lane.
Oh, okay.
So no wonder I can't find it. So you must be in here under Lane, Layne. So the name is wrong. But anyway, you got a ticket for no license ever applied. Shows that you don't have one. It is a
In
minor.
Michigan.
Do you have a license now?
I have an Indiana license, or I'm from Indiana.
Yes. Do you have an Indiana license?
No, that's the one that's suspended.
Okay, so that's the way they charged it, like this. Often, we're a border county, so we get lots of people from Indiana. And sometimes when they have an Indiana suspension, it shows as this, no license ever acquired. It's a misdemeanor in Michigan, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Normal fine is $100 plus costs, and I would give you time to pay the fine. They allege that this happened on July 5th. At 8 o'clock at night, Main and Clark Street here in Centerville. How do you plead to that charge?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
All right. Are you working on getting your Indiana license?
Yes, I'll have that in a matter of weeks.
But you can just give it one time.
All right, well, at this point, the prosecutor probably wouldn't do anything to amend the charge. If you come in with a valid license, they could amend it to something that wouldn't show up on your driving record. What do you have to do to get your license back?
Well, I have a piece of paper that I have to, I don't know, show the BMV and pay a reinstatement fee, I think so.
Okay. How'd you get here?
I did not drive. Someone else drove me.
All right, I'll set this out a month. Set a pretrial for September 11th, gosh. For you to bring Indiana license. We should take a look at that case. She's in the system as Anton Elizabeth Lane, and her name is Elizabeth Anton, so I couldn't find the file. That'll be a Thursday, September 11th at 8:30 here at bring proof of Indiana license. All right, at this pace, I'll be done about midnight with all these cases. So let's see if I can go a little faster. All right, I will see you on September 11th.
All right, thank you.
And hopefully you'll have success with the Indiana DMV, and the county prosecutor would be likely to cut you some sort of a plea agreement, and you could pay a fine and keep your license. So you do what you need to do at the Indiana end.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Michelle Biddleman. Good morning. Are you Michelle Lynn Biddleman?
Yes, I am.
All right, let me get your ticket. If I can find yours. Boy, that lady isn't there under Lane either. I don't know where she is, but I did find it. Miss Biddleman, at least you're in the queue. 1343. You got a ticket for driving on a valid license. No, wrong case. Let's take a look at it. You got a ticket July 7th at 5:54 a.m. Well, you 131 on Lovers Lane. Do you work in the RV industry?
I work at American Axle.
All right, it was real early. You're almost to work.
Yeah.
No proof of insurance and no license.
I do have my proof of insurance with me that didn't have in the vehicle at the time.
Yes.
And I got my temporary instruction permit, and I just have to go in and get the driver's test done.
All right, very good. And you did not drive here today,
No,
according
sir.
to the bailiffs.
I would,
Well,
sorry.
Go ahead.
I would probably recommend, because she's gonna end up getting it, maybe, kicking it to a free trial.
I was going to do the same thing as the last case. What we want is for everybody to get their driver's license. If I had a magic wand, I'd tap everybody on the head and give them their license back. So there's a whole bunch of ways to get suspended. And sometimes people just never got a license.
And that was my
So
case.
you're in the. Well, it's time to get one.
Yes, it is.
All right, I'm gonna set a pretrial. Same day, 9/11/25 at 8:30. You and the last lady, Miss Anton, can come in and show them you got a license. Now, what you need is one of those cars that automatically parallel parks. And you just push a button, then I've seen more than a few people that didn't pass the first time around because of the parallel parking. I'm not too good at it myself. Are you missing work right now?
Yes, I am.
How long you been at American Axle?
Almost 3 years.
Good for you. All right, we're gonna have you miss again. Thursday, September 11th 2025 at 8:30. Bring proof of full license.
All right, let's talk about that. Judge Middleton's docket today had a mix of serious stakes and small-town quirks, starting with Mr. Miller, who came in facing an OWI second offense that could have been much worse if an old Wisconsin case had been charged differently. The judge methodically walked him through the plea deal down to a first offense with his usual blend of directness and fairness, making sure Miller understood the rights he was giving up and the consequences ahead, including a license suspension that could stretch for years. Middleton also floated the idea of sobriety court, a program that could get Miller back on the road sooner with an interlock device while reducing jail time. But he left it as a choice rather than a mandate. You could tell he regretted not raising it earlier, calling it shame on me, which was a refreshingly human moment from the bench. The hearing also showed his flexibility when Miller's attorney mentioned possible out-of-state work. The judge gave blanket permission for work-related travel without more paperwork, a practical move that kept things moving. After that, we shifted gears to the more procedural but still telling cases of Elizabeth Anton and Michelle Biddleman, both dealing with license issues. Anton's case started with a clerical hiccup. The ticket had her name jumbled, making her file nearly impossible to find, which Middleton unraveled with a mix of patience and mild exasperation. He laid out the path for her to get her Indiana license reinstated, dangling the possibility of a reduced charge if she could show up next month with valid credentials. Biddleman's situation was similar. No license at the time of the stop, but clear progress toward getting one, plus proof she had insurance. Middleton treated both with the same steady formula set, a pre-trial date, encouraged them to finish the process and keep the door open for a clean resolution. Throughout, the atmosphere was steady but personable, with Middleton occasionally poking fun at the slow pace or the DMV's quirks, even joking about parallel parking woes. It was a reminder that while the stakes are real fines, suspensions, possible jail, there's still room for levity and understanding in a courtroom. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one.